Good morning, students. So we are discussing about the second chapter, collection of data. So in that already we discussed about variables. Even we discussed about the sources of data. Under that we discussed primary data and also secondary data. So primary data is nothing but the investigator collect the data by conducting an inquiry or an investigation. The investigator collect the data by conducting the inquiry or investigation. So that is called only primary data. And also we discussed about the secondary data. Secondary data means already which has have been collected, which has been collected by others. Okay. So that is also we discussed. So now we have to discuss about the mode of data collection. In previous class we started sources of data. Under the sources of data there are two. One is primary data, another one is secondary data. So under the primary data especially we should see four important. One is personal interview, second one is mailing questionnaire, third one is telephone interview, fourth one is pilot survey. Okay, under the secondary data especially published sources and unpublished sources. Okay, so now we have to discuss about the primary data. That is only mode of data collection. Mode of data collection means how the investigator or enumerator or researcher can collect the information. Okay, so that is in the way of three ways, especially personal interview, especially under two sources are two. Under the sources we can see two. One is primary data, another one is secondary data. First we have to discuss about the primary data. Under the primary data there are four. One is personal interview, second one is mailing questionnaire, third one is telephone interview, fourth one is pilot survey. Okay, one by one we have to discuss. Under this, that is called only mode of data collection. Which way we have to collect the data, that is called only mode of data collection. In which mode? Okay, enumerator or investigator or researcher can collect the information. So that is called only mode of data collection. So in that especially first one is personal interview. First one is personal interview. So personal interview is nothing but the investigator or researcher. The investigator or researcher can collect the information personally. Okay. Personal interview means the investigator collect the information or collect the data personally. Okay, the investigator collect the data personally, that is called only personal interview. The investigator or researcher, investigator, enumerator, everything like same only. The investigator collect the data personally, that is called only personal interview. Here in this interview there is an opportunity to ask the question and get the answer like face to face. In this method there is a face to face interact with the respondents. Here those who are asking question, he is considered as investigator. Those who are responsible telling the answer, the particular person, he is considered as a respondent. Okay, so in this method there is a opportunity. What for? You can the investigator can ask the question directly or face to face. In this method there is a face to face interview, face-to-face interview. So we are discussing about mode of data collection. So under that, first we started which one? Personal interview. Personal interview is nothing but the investigator collect the data personally. The investigator collect the data personally. So here there is a face-to-face interaction with the respondent. There is a face-to-face interaction with the respondent. So it is also one of the most important method to collect the data. Okay. So why we are preferring this one only? Why we are giving importance to personal interview? Because there are some advantages. So when we are using the method to collect the data, so there are so many advantages. What are the advantages? You can say like that. Advantages or merits. Advantages or merits. So advantage, especially personal contact is made between respondent and investigator. First thing is the interview. Otherwise, the personal contact. It is nothing but personal interview means personal contact. Personal interview means personal contact, direct, face to face. So in this situation, both are having a chance to meet face to face interaction or face to face interview. So with the help of personal interview, they can meet both interviewer and respondent. Both they can meet face to face. First advantage is that is personal contact. First thing is personal contact. They can meet face to face. And so here the interviewer has the opportunity. The interviewer has the opportunity of explaining the study and what purpose he came to ask the questions, and what purpose, what he has to actually know, that one he can explain clearly to the respondent. What answer, which answer he is expecting. So what he is expecting the answer. So what he want to ask, everything he can explain clearly, extendably. He can explain the question or explain about the question. So it is which one? The personal interview helpful to the investigator explain about the question and also what he has actually want to ask. So at that time, for that sake, he has an opportunity. Who? Investigator. Okay. And also even it is more helpful to the respondent also. Why? Because respondent also having a much time to explain the answers or extend the answers. So what the introducer, like investigator asking the question, for that, what investigator asking the question, for that the respondent can explain clearly and extend the answer, because there is a lot of time to explain, and he can by expressing himself only, he can explain everything. So that's why it is there is a lot of time. There is a biggest opportunity. Both are having the opportunity to explain or extend question and answer. The investigator can extend the question or can explain the question, and respondent can extend the answer, can explain the answer clearly. That's why it has an opportunity. Which one? Personal interview. And also the interviewer can request the respondent to explain step by step. Okay, under the personal interview, the investigator can request the respondent to explain the answer step by step. Okay, particularly which is very important. So for that, about that only, the respondent can explain step by step. So that's why the interviewer can request the respondent. Interviewer can request the respondent to tell the answers like clearly, like step by step, which are those important. Okay, and also you can both they can avoid the misunderstanding. Both they can avoid the misunderstanding, because when we are sitting face to face, that time not possible to create the situation about like misunderstanding. Okay, both they can avoid the misunderstanding. Which one? With the help of personal interview. Personal interview, it is very important. Personal interview is nothing but the investigator collect the data personally. So in this method, there is a opportunity, that is face to face interact with both, that is investigator and respondent. Those who are asking and those who are telling the answer, both are, they can meet face to face in this method. So in this method, what are the advantages? That is, first one is personal contact, second one is opportunity to extend the answer, explain the answer, and extend the question, explain the question, and also the interviewer can request the respondent to expand the answers, like those which are important. We should explain by step by step or stage by stage, clearly from starting to ending, to know the information about the topic. And also both are having opportunity, or both can avoid the misunderstanding. Both can avoid the misunderstanding. So these are all advantages of personal interview. Then what are the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages? First one is, it's expensive, more expensive. The personal interview is more expensive. Why? Because the investigator should attend the place, should visit the place, should meet that person wherever he is staying. Where the respondent is staying, in that place only, on that place only he has to go. The investigator should go and meet there only, and he has to get appointment. Before going, he has to inform, and he has to wait. The investigator should wait for that person, and before also he has to inform, and also wherever he can stay, so he has to go there only. So that is the expenses, more expenses. That is, he has to go by traveling, whatever the expenses, transportation cost, and he has to prepare mentally and physically. He has to prepare, and he has to train. Okay, for interviewer. First, the company or channels, whatever, they should give training first to the investigator. After that, the investigator should give the instruction to which one? Respondent. Should tell like this, should not tell like this. Okay, even respondent also apply few conditions, like don't ask like these questions. Okay, like this only. So there are so much of risk, and there is a lot of expensive, more expensive. There is a more expensive about the personal interview, because the investigator or enumerator compulsory he has to visit the place and he has to meet the person directly. So that's why it is more expensive. Okay, and also we should give the training to investigator, and also we should accept the conditions by from the respondent. Okay, whatever it may be, which one, the personal interviews having both advantages and also disadvantages. Disadvantages: expensive, more expensive. Okay, it's sometimes for remote areas also we have to meet. At that time, no transportation facility. Okay, these are all we can call risk. And in spite of that also, the investigator should attend the person, should visit the place and should meet the person in the name of personal interview. So don't forget, personal interview is nothing but the investigator collect the data personally. Okay, face to face ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ second one is mailing questionnaire. Second one is mailing questionnaire, another important mode of data collection. Mailing questionnaire. So in this survey or in this method, the investigator or enumerator can ask the questions or can collect the information by mail. In this method or in this mode of data collection, the investigator can collect the data by mail. By mail, that is, you know that very well, email, internet. Okay, through the email only, like through the mail only, through the mail. Before we were using like a post, which one, what we can say, like that, a post and also letters, like that also we were using. So now we are using emails or mails. So in this method, we can collect the investigator can collect the information by mail or through mail only. The questionnaire is sent to each individual. The questionnaire will sent to each individual by the mail. The questions what he has to ask, what he has to get the answer, everything he can get through the mail, and he can send the question through the mail to that person. Okay, so in this method there is not necessary to meet that person directly or face to face. So here he can get answers through the mail. The investigator can send questions to each individual through mail only, and also he can get the answers through mail what he is expecting from the persons, like respondents. Okay, so the mailing questionnaire is nothing but collecting the data through mail, collecting the data through mail or by mail only. So it is also one of the important method. So in this also we can see both merits and demerits or advantages or disadvantages. Nothing but mailing questionnaire. So in this method the investigator can collect the information with the help of mail or through the mail or by the mail. So under this there are a few advantages and few disadvantages. So what are the advantages under the mailing questionnaire? So that is mail, by sending question, sending the question through mail or by mail only. Okay, not necessary to meet that person, not necessary to visit that place. So under this, first advantage, it is less expensive, but personal interview is more expensive, otherwise it's more cost. But mailing questionnaire is, first thing is, under the advantages, less expensive. Less expensive, very less cost. ಖರ್ಚೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಗೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾಟ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಟು ಮೀಟ್, ನಾಟ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಟು ವಿಸಿಟ್. ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವನ್ ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡುವಂಥ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. But we can understand, we can get the information through the help of mail only. We can sending the question by mail and we are getting the answers by mail only. So that's why not necessary to attend. So that's why first thing is less expensive or less expenditure. So very important advantage or merit, that is less expensive. And also it allows the time. Okay, it allows the time to respondent. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬಹುದು ನಾವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ, ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್ಗೆ. there is no pressure. Okay, there is no pressure, there is no influence, there is no what we can say pressure. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕೊಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. And also for the respondent we can give much time, more time. We can mention time within this, like within week, within this month, within the 10 days, within 1 day. Like that also we can expect the answer by sending the questions. So in this situation, even respondent has much time to give the answers what the investigator asked the question. And also the investigator not necessary to go, like especially few persons are staying in remote areas or the places which are more important, which are popularized. The places also very remote in remote areas. That time also not possible to go. So as for this also it will be helpful. Which one? The mailing questionnaire is helpful to the which is difficult to visit places, which is difficult to meet that person. So for that also it is helpful. So not necessary to attend that place, not necessary to visit the place, or not necessary to meet that person. Because we can ask the question, we can collect the information by mail only. So that is one of the important advantages. And also it is permits the respondents to take sufficient time. Okay, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. 10 days, 15 days, 1 day ಅಥವಾ 2 days ಈ ಥರ ಟೈಮನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ನೌ ಡೇಸ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಒನ್ SMS. It's a very popularizing app, very popularized app. What purpose? By asking question, by telling the answers, collecting the information. It is very important. SMS means short messaging system. Short messaging system, SMS. Nowadays we did very short. Okay, so this is called as SMS. It is also one of the most important app to use. Which one? To exchange the question and answers. It is also very important, right? So that is when we are doing online survey or when we are collecting information through online, this is more helpful. Which one? Short message system, SMS. Now we are using like WhatsApp, right? Emails, everything. Okay, before it was even present also it's very famous app, popularized app, that is SMS, short messaging system. Short messaging system. So mailing questionnaire is nothing but the questions will send and get the answer through mail only. We can send the questions and also we can get the answers. We can collect the data with the help of mailing questionnaire, that is through mail. So advantages is especially it is less expensive, and also we can give more time to give the answers to the respondents, and also not necessary to attend, not necessary to visit, not necessary to meet direct face to face. So that's why it is also very important. And also nowadays we are using the SMS app, that is a short messaging system in online survey. So now what we are using like WhatsApp, like short messaging system, everything. So these are all called advantages. Next, disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages about the mailing questionnaire? Disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages? It is low response. First one we can say like that, low response rate. Low response rate. Low response rate means no one will give the perfect answer. No one can give the perfect timings. Okay, no one give the importance. No one give the interest to give the answers. That's why response rate is very less. Sometimes the respondents may not answer all the questions. Sometimes the respondent may not give all the questions. Like may not give answers for all questions. May not give answers for all the questions. And also may not return the questions at all. Sometimes may not give answers for all questions. Sometimes not ready to give answer for sometimes not ready to give all questions. Like answers for all questions. Okay. The respondent sometimes may not give answers for all questions. That means for few questions only can give the answer and few questions we can skip. Okay, he is only not ready to give the answer. Sometimes he is not ready to give answer for all questions. So this type of problems also we have to face under the mailing questionnaire. And also there is a less opportunity to provide assistance to the respondent. So instruction, now it is the less opportunity to give the instruction or assistance to the respondent. So what about which we are asking, about which we are expecting, so what we are expecting, so everything for that to discuss. There is no time, that's why it is less opportunity to explain or give the assistance or suggestions. Okay, not there is no time to explain that one to the respondent. And also there is a possibility of misunderstanding definitely under the mailing questionnaire. So maybe we are sending a question, so like a investigator may send the question to a respondent. That time respondent, if not understand properly, maybe the situation is create the misunderstanding. Definitely there is a chances to make which one misunderstanding. There is a possibility. And also this method is useful only those who are educated and those who are cooperate. Especially this method is applicable to, or it is useful to only educated and those who are cooperative. Okay, and also it is considered as a slowest method of data collection. This one, slowest method of data collection. Low response rate, okay, less expensive. This is less expensive. Advantages, less expensive. Disadvantages, low response rate. Low response rate. Like personal interview, more expensive. Okay. So there is not a lot of time to explain the answer, extend the answer, right? So mailing questionnaire. In mailing questionnaire nowadays we are using the most important of that is the SMS short messaging system. So these are advantages, these are disadvantages. So it is the slowest method of data collection, low response rate. Okay, chances are make which one misunderstanding, and less opportunity to provide assistance to the respondent. Okay, so everything. So these are disadvantages and advantages. In next class, we will discuss about telephone interview and pilot survey. Thank you.